All right, breaking news that we are getting in at this juncture. A civilian, as confirmed by my colleague Shujaa ul Haq, has succumbed to his injuries in the grenade attack which has taken place in Tral, Pulwama. This has been the fourth attack in the valley. What we are getting to know, unfortunate news coming in, that 5 civilians who were injured in this grenade attack, one of them have succumbed to injuries. A grenade was lobbed at a bus stop and at least 5 people were reported injured and one of them have now succumbed to injuries. I want to immediately cut across back to Shujaa ul Haq, who's joining us live on the series of attacks that the last 14 hours have seen where Jammu and Kashmir is concerned. You know, Shujaa, the fact that the terrorists in the fourth attack did not target security personnel, they did not target a checkpost, but the attack was a concerted attack on civilian lives when the grenades were lobbed at a bus stop.
Well, that's right, and that's the most worrying thing here. Lobbing grenades at places like bus stops and other chalks. Clearly, the idea is to inflict maximum damage in terms of civilian lives, and that's exactly what is happened here. A very unfortunate day for Kashmir. Towards the end, we're seeing one civilian dying, succumbing to his injuries, who was injured in this grenade explosion that happened in Tral area. Let me just remind you that these are the areas which are going for polls in the next phase, December 9th. Some parts of Anantnag and many parts of Srinagar area are going for polls. In fact, some areas of Uri and Baramulla are also scheduled to go for polls on December 9th, which is the next phase. And there have been increased inputs in terms of intelligence that militants would want to disrupt the entire process or create a situation of panic and fear, and that's perhaps the reason why so many attacks are happening at the same time. There was intelligence also that there could be concerted attacks, simultaneous multiple attacks are being launched, and that's what we are seeing happening today. We don't know whether there is a coherence in these attacks, but so far, first in Uri, then in Srinagar, then in Shopian, and at the end there was this blast in Tral. So these clearly point out that all is not well when it comes to the entire security situation, and clearly a lot needs to be done, considering the fact that the state has crucial events, which includes the Prime Minister's visit itself on December 8th. That is scheduled to happen. He is scheduled to address rallies in Srinagar and Anantnag areas. These should be major challenges for the security establishment in the wake of all these attacks happening. The way the militants have been carrying out these attacks, it will definitely be a major challenge and major worry for the entire security grid.
You know, Shujaa, I'll urge you to stay on with us. We're going to go into a quick break. When we come back, we're going to come back with the latest statement that the army has issued on the Uri encounter. Coming right back to Shujaa ul Haq as well for the latest updates to stay. Well, the army has issued a statement on the Uri encounter saying it took 6 hours to eliminate 6 foreign terrorists, I beg my pardon, all of whom had on them sophisticated weapons and equipment. The statement describes the recoveries as warlike stores. That's the latest that we're getting in at this point of time. The Indian Army has issued a statement on the Uri encounter, which lasted about 12 hours. It had said that it took about 6 hours, in fact, to eliminate 6 foreign terrorists, and that's the operative line. It says foreign terrorists, all of whom had on them sophisticated weapons and equipment. The statement describes the recoveries as warlike stores. I want to immediately cut across to my colleague Shujaa ul Haq. Shujaa, can you take us through the statement that is issued by the army? It's a similar statement that was issued on the recoveries that were made during the encounter which had taken place in Nagaon.
Well, that's right. In fact, if you see the statement, it clearly mentions that all these militants who have been killed in this operation are foreign nationals, and it also says that a lot of arms and ammunition have been recovered from them. They clearly had planned this entire operation. They did know what they were doing. In fact, if we just mention it in graphic details, 6 AK-47 rifles, 55 magazines, shotguns, night vision glasses, radio sets, unused grenades. At least
Right.
32 unused grenades have been recovered, medical kits in large numbers. So this gives you an idea of how prepared these militants were. They knew what to target, they knew what they have to go for, and that's how this entire operation began. At 3 in the morning, I'm still standing here, and we've been told at 3 in the morning is when they started this entire attack. They went in. Some of the army personnel were actually killed when or laid down their lives when they were actually coming here as a part of quick response team. The vehicle of quick response team was attacked when they were about to approach this camp. That is the kind of confusion they must have created here, and in the melee, the entire devastation that happened here. At the end of the day, eight army men, including one top-ranking lieutenant colonel rank officer, have laid down their lives. 3 policemen have also laid down their lives in this operation, and 6 militants, of course, have been killed here. A lot of arms and ammunition, as I was figuring out right now, has been recovered from them. We don't know whether the army will display these arms and ammunition to us.
Right.
We're still in Uri. In fact, right behind me is where the camp is situated. But yes, very, very disturbing details being given out, and which also points towards the fact that there is clearly a concerted effort, a definite effort to ensure that some sort of violence is ensured on the ground of Kashmir at this time.
Appreciate you joining us, Shuja. Thank you. There will, of course, keep coming back to you. Once again, want to take our viewers through that statement, official statement issued by the army. And it says it took 6 hours to eliminate 6 foreign terrorists. And that's the operative word, where it uses foreign terrorists, all of whom had on them sophisticated weapons and equipment. The statement describes the recoveries as war-like stores. I want to cut across at this juncture to our deputy editor, Shiv Arur, who's joining us from the newsroom. Shiv, 2 important lines in that statement. Number 1, where it describes the terrorists as foreign terrorists. Number 2, that they had recoveries were made from them which were war-like stores. How much does it tie into, Shiv, the kind of recoveries that were made by on the person of the terrorists that were killed in Naugam?
Quite similar, actually, and Preeti, it's interesting that you should ask. You're absolutely right. The operative sentence of this 3-paragraph statement from the Indian Army that's just come in from Shuja, who is at the encounter site, is that in the ensuing firefight, all 6 foreign terrorists were eliminated. Now, for those of our viewers who may not know, when the army says foreign terrorists in its statements or press releases, they mean only one country, and that is Pakistan. It's a euphemism that they have to use because of certain official constraints, but foreign terrorist is a confirmation you have on this piece of paper from the Indian Army that those 6 terrorists who've been killed are Pakistan nationals. Now, going on to the equipment that's been recovered from them, quite similar in many respects to what was recovered from the Naugam terrorists, who additionally had other equipment because of the high altitude route that they were taking. Now, this particular route in Uri, not quite at that kind of altitude, but take a look at the mention of the equipment that they were carrying. 2 night vision binoculars, obviously because they had infiltrated and were prepared for missions, right through the night, as this particular mission was. They had with them 55 magazines of Kalashnikov 7.62mm ammunition, which means that they were in it for the long haul. Their destination was obviously some kind of a built-up area where they were expecting to be in an extended standoff with the army. So obviously they needed a lot of ammunition. Thankfully, they were neutralized before they could, stretch the operation beyond 6 hours. 32 unused grenades. Very important already, Preeti, because we've seen 2 attacks. Apart from what happened in Uri, we've seen an attack in Shopia and another in Tral in Pulwama district of South Kashmir. In both of those attacks where injuries have happened, grenades were used. Obviously, grenades are lobbed all the time in the Kashmir Valley, and these were 32 unused grenades. As many as 60 unused grenades were found, on the person of the terrorists who were killed in Naugam. So obviously, grenade attacks is a modus operandi that's alive and kicking in the Kashmir Valley, and perhaps these were going to be used similarly in built-up areas, perhaps at political rallies as well. So we've got a confirmation that these were Pakistani nationals, the 6 of them who've been killed.
Appreciate you joining us, Shiv, with the latest details there. We'll keep tracking